Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Dr. Munder from University of Technology and Applied Science in Every. This is the first lecture in Introduction to Cryptography. In this lecture, I will give you an introduction about cryptography that will cover learning outcome number 1. Let's see what we will learn in this lecture. So we will define what's the meaning of information security. We will discuss the history of information security and how is the security developed through the internet development. And also we'll define some of the words and terms in information security. We will define the term cryptography and its component, and we will understand also the foundation of the modern cryptography, which include the architecture and the implementation of the cryptography system. So before we start, I want you to ask yourself a question. What do you know about information security? It's important to answer this question. This will give you an overview about the next lecture or the rest of the course. When you answer this question, think about the WhatsApp message you send, the email you send, the chat, your picture in the mobile or in the cloud, and anything like this. So try to answer this question, which will make the rest of the slide and even the rest of the course easy for you. I just gave you a hint to answer this question. It's important to answer it before you go through the slides. All right. Now, everything starts with the military. So security, internet, and everything in the computer science start in the military things, and then they introduced to the world. So security started in the military. In the World War II, they invented a machine that's called the Enigma, which basically, secured the message between the troops, so the enemy will not know what's the message and where they're gonna hit or something like that. This is a very basic machine that used, substitution, which replaced the letters with another letter, and the other guys in the other side of the same army will know the message exactly, but the rest and the enemy will not be able to know the message because it's a shuffled letter. So this is the basic things, and this machine was the start of the information security. All right. Now, if you wanna know more about the development of security, which is related to the development and the evolution of the internet, I suggest you should watch this video. I just put it in the slide for you, so it gives you an overview about the development of the internet and why we need security exactly. It just gives you a summary about the course and the need for security. I hope you can watch this one. Now let's start by knowing exactly the meaning of security. Now we talk about information security. So we have two words. We have security and we have information. So if we want to define security, security means what? To be free from dangers. If you have your mobile phone, where do you put it? You put it in your pocket. Why? Because you don't want someone to steal it. All right. So you put it away from danger. You kept it free from danger. All right, from water, from stealing, from anything like this. So to be free from dangers. All right. So if you want the full definition for just security, we say the quality or state of being secure, to be free from danger. But if you want to know the meaning of information security, now we know what's the meaning of security. It means the free from danger. All right. But if you say information security, that means protecting the information and everything related to this information. So you have information, all right, and you want to protect everything related to the information. You want to protect the system software that used to store the information. You want to protect the hardware, all right, hardware. You want to protect them in the store, all right, and you want to protect them during the transmit. You want to protect them during the transmit. Now these are very important aspect in information. So the information transmit, Okay, so the information could be in the system, on the hardware, stored in the disk, or transmitted over the internet. So when you say information security, we're gonna protect the information and all its elements, which include the system that used to store the information, the hardware, and the storage of the information, and during the transmission. This is the meaning of information security, basically. All right. Now, we think about information security. We don't think about only just computer and transmitting. We have several layers of information security. So if you have a company, right, and you can see that everywhere, right, if you go to shopping from Lulu or Carrefour or something like that, you can notice there's layers of security. So they have a guard in the front, they have a camera, and so on. So let's classify these layers so we know what are the layers of security in general. Okay, so if you want a successful organization, you need to implement a physical security, you need to implement personal security, operational security, communication security, network security, and information security. These 6 layers has to be or implemented in order to have a very successful secure system for your organization. Physical security is a physical things. All right, so you have doors, all right, you have locks, all right, something that physical. If you have a personal security, you have a guard, okay, that guarding that gate. Is the gate is closed, okay, and you have a guard on that gate. Operational security, and everyone goes in and goes out or do something must be checked and must be what and must be somehow operate in a secure way. So this goes operation security. Even the communication between this employee inside the company or outside the company, from outside or from inside, has to be secured. Now here we talk about IT. We have the communication security. Even the network must be secure. So you have a firewall, you have an antivirus, you have a scanning device, you have a blacklist, you have a whitelist, or something like that. And at the end, you need to secure the information. So the last thing you want to secure is what? Is the information. If you go through all these levels, you reach the information. All right. If you pass through all these levels, you still need to face the security in the information itself. So it's a very successful way to build the security or information security in any organization. Now, there are 3 key objectives, okay, in security, right? 3 key objectives: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Okay, we call them the CIA Triad. All right, you can see them here in the Triad, CIA Triad. All right, it's a famous one. This is a very famous key objectives in security. Sometimes you can see them more than 3, but unfortunately all the others are fall in these 3 categories. So what do we know about confidentiality, integrity, and availability? All right, now remember, we call these 3 key objectives are what? CIA Triad, right? If you talk about confidentiality, it means hiding the information from unauthorized people to see. You have your phone, you are the only one authorized to see your photo on the phone, all right? You are the only one authorized to see the emails in your email account or something like that. So these things mean this is confidential. This is what? Confidential. This is something secret, must be hidden from other people's. All right, now we do this is the most aspect in CIA triad. This is the most aspect in CIA triad. Remember that. Okay, now hackers always trying what? To hack this, because if something's secure, they want to unveil it and see what is it. So we do the confidentiality by using what? Cryptography and encryption methods. This is the way to do the confidentiality. The second one is called integrity, which is basically is to make sure the data is accurate and unchangeable. accurate, and unchangeable. And I'll give you the keywords to remember the difference between these three. Now the attacker could try to, somehow change the data before sending it. Change the data before sending it, which is, you want to make sure the data is not changed during the transmission. And the last one is called the availability. You need to have your data or your information available 24 hours 7, and viewed by only what? By authorized viewers. Okay, if you have a bank account, you need to have an access to your bank account all the time, right? And this is in a secure way, because you are the only one authorized to see that. Now, this is the CIA Triad: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. There are other characteristics of the data which include these three things, these three CIA Triad: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. You have accuracy, you have authenticity, you have utility, you have poison, you have accountability. Now, accuracy in general is free of mistakes or error, or having the value that in the user expect. If you withdraw like 20 real from your account, you expect your account will be, or your balance in your account will be lower by 20 real, which is no mistake, without any mistakes. Now, the authenticity basically is the quality or state of being genuine or origin. Okay, you don't want something that fake. So you don't want something that someone fabrics something for you. So you want something origin. You want something, genuine. You don't want something that somehow placed somewhere for a fake to store, to steal your information or something like that. So the information has to be what? The information has to be authenticity. You know the source of the information, and you know the origin of the information. Utility is a quality and the state of having a value for some purpose or end. If you have an information and you display the information in a way that is no meaningful for this information, you will not get the value of this information. So utility means what? Means show the information has value when it's served, when it is serves. So the last one is posing the information, is the quality of ownership or control some of the items. So basically it is kind of ownership. You own this information. All right, if you want to know what's the population of Oman, you could just say go to the government and take the information from the owner of this information, not from anyone else. And accountability is basically require the action of an entity may be traced uniquely to the entity, which is, the source of the information. Okay, you can trace this information comes from this source. This is called accountability. So you depend on this information basically. So these are the 8 characteristics of the information. From 4 to 6, they basically, some people say they fall into these 3, but you need to know the meaning of each one. All right. So let's talk about the component of the information system. Any information system will have 6 components. Starting from hardware, you need to have a computer. You need to have a software installed in this computer, which include application and written code. You need to have a network, which implemented through the telecommunications system, so the computer interact with each other and with the other world or the outside world. And you need also a database to store the information into that database as a storage. And the most important thing, you need people to work on this system, right? You need trained people to work in this system, and these people work according to some rules and policies, which we call it what? Procedures. So these are the main component of any information system in any organization, and we need to secure these components. We need to secure all these components to secure the information system. That's what we call it, information system, and we care about the security of the information system. Now, how much security do we need? This is the triangle shows in any organization they have functionalities, which is features of the system, operations for the system. They have the usability, which is the graphical user interface. Is it easy to use? Is it hard to use? Something like that. And we have security, which is have some restriction on the system. So if you move the ball toward security, that means you have more restriction, and you will have what, less functionality and less usability. So the interface will be a little bit hard, and the functionality of the system will have more difficulty to perform. Like if you want to log into your bank account, for example, you have to enter the username, you have to enter the password, you have to enter the answer for the security question, and you have to enter the PIN number which sent to you by what, by the message or email, which is too much security because it's a bank. Some organization need more security, such as the military, such as the banks, the financial system, and everything like that. But if you want a less security, you want to move the ball to this side, so you will have less security because you focus on the functionality, make it perform very well, and you focus on the usability, and you have a little bit of security, not too much. Okay, this is comes for the some organization, they don't have like that much security, so they don't care about security that much. Okay, they just username and password, and then after you then you can do everything, and there's no sensitive information in there, so they just want to make the system a little bit fast. But if you wanna have an average from all of them, you wanna put the ball in the middle. So you will have security, you will have functionality, and you will have usability. Now, how much security do you need? It depends on the organization work. As I said, some of the organization need more security, so they need to ball here towards security. Some organization need no security, so the ball will be here between usability and functionality, and some organization need a little bit from all these three, so your ball will be in the middle. So it depends on what kind of work this organization do. All right, if you get this question, it's not how much, it should depend on the type of work and the kind of work that organization perform. All right, now to implement this, basically we have a hacker and we have a computer system that belong to a company or to a personal thing, and everyone now is using what, the internet. All right, so basically the hacker sent a hack request to the system somehow to steal some information using what, using the internet. Now be careful, we need security because we're using the internet, and all the information are digitalized and can be stored in a digital way over the internet, like cloud and photo and something like that. So this is how the hacker works. Try to send a hack request in different way, we'll see how they attack, and gets the information and use it to harm you or to do something else. And this happened because we have internet. If we don't have internet, you're separated from the world, no internet, there is no danger. Okay, there is no danger at all. So this is because you are work alone, you're not connected to the computer. So they have some standards for security. For example, we will talk about the X800 standard. The X800 standard is basically OSI security architecture. It manages, somehow um, the organization security by providing the organization with a secure way. It focuses on three things: attacks, mechanisms, and services. You can go to the website, and actually this is the website. You can check these X800 star. There's a lot of information about that if you want to know more about this, but we'll talk about only the focus. We'll focus on the focus of the OSI, which is attacks, mechanism, and services. Now the X800, as I said, it's contained the attacks. The attacks means what? Attacks means someone trying to perform an action, okay, to compromise the security of your information. Try to, reveal this information and see it. All right, this is the attack. All right. Security mechanism basically is a process that designed to what? Detect, okay, detect. Let's see it on the other slide. Yeah, the security attack is basically an action that compromises the security information owned by an organization. So it's an action. Okay, the security attack is an action. Okay, but the security mechanism is what? Process. Is what? A process. So you have the attack here coming from somewhere. You have attack coming from somewhere. All right, coming to the system. All right, this is your system, the information system you have. So this is the action, right? Then you have a security mechanism. You have what? A mechanism. You have a security mechanism here. This security mechanism will do three things. Will detect the attack and try to prevent the attack, right, by doing the second process, which is preventing the attack. Now if the attack is already happened, they try to recover from the attack. All right, so this is 1, 2 and 3 process. All right, so it's a process, okay, used or designed to detect, prevent and recover. Remember, attack is an action, security mechanism is a process. All right, now we have the security service. The security service basically is like a processing or communication that's provided by the system to give a specific kind of protection to resource, a specific kind protection specified by somehow, like authentication, integrity, access control. So it's a specific, purpose of security on something. All right, we'll see a list of these things. Okay, these services, all right, have to count the security attack, face the security attack, and maybe we will use some of the security mechanism to treat or deal with this attack, right? So in here we will have what? We will have the services. Okay, now let's look at the diagram that summarizes everything. So this is your information system. This is your information system. You have a security service, authentication, access control, confidentiality, integrity. We talk about confidentiality and integrity. Authentication means to authenticate the person and make sure you're the right person to access the system. Access to control, even if you access the system, it's limited the access level to that. For example, you're a student and we're a lecturer. We log into the same system, but you see different operation and I see different operation. So this is called access control. So that means if the hacker even steal someone or stole someone password and got into the system, this person is doing limited things, not everything. And you have non reputation, which is basically something to prevent the attack. We'll see how that. These services are surrounded with the mechanism, which is detect, prevent and recover, and these all to prevent any security attack to the security systems. So let's see each one of them in a quick way. As we said that the security attack is an action to compromise your information or target some things in your computer to do some harm for you, or intention with the intention of doing harm. Okay, like destroy, expose, alter, disable, steal, gain access to right, or something like this. So this is picture is basically somehow tells you what is the attack means. It's like a snake coming from the computer that will harm you in somehow. Now we talk about the attack. We have two types of attack. We have a passive, we have an active attack. Now the passive attack is basically you are there's a communication, for example, between A and B. Alright, so the communication is happening. Well, there's nothing wrong with it, but there's someone sneaking in the middle. He try to look at the message without changing it. Okay, so he's not affecting any of the systems. Okay, the system is going normal, but he is looking at the message without A and B knows that he's looking at the message, because he's not doing any harm, he's not affecting the system. All right, but if you talk about active attack, that's a different way. There is no direct communication. Okay, what happened when A send the message, the attacker take the message, change the message, okay, change the message, and resend it back to what, the other side, which is B. So basically he changed something in the system, he affected the system. All right, so this is the difference between passive and active attack. Passive attack is attack that do the attack and does not affect the system, but the active attack basically leaves something that somehow harm the computer, affect the operation, somehow do something to the system. This is the difference between passive and active attack. Now, this for the passive attack, we have some example. For example, like as drawing, sniffing, snooping, and so on. We have traffic analysis. All right, these are just a common type of passive attack. Now, the passive attack is very difficult to detect actually, because it does not involve any change in the system or does not do any effect on the system. All right, and the message traffic is sent and received in a normal way, so you won't figure out actually what there's something wrong, because nothing wrong with the message is okay and everything is okay. You don't know that someone attacking you because it's not taking any action, or not taking any effect, or not doing anything into you. It is visible to prevent the successful attack, usually by what? Encryption. So the way to prevent this passive attack, by doing what? Encryption. By doing encrypting the message. Even if he got the message, he see the message, he will not understand the message because it's what? Encrypted. Alright? So we can prevent this attack. Okay? We can deal with this rather than detection. Okay? For the active attack, these are for example on the passive an active attack, which is affect the system basically, either by attempting to make the system resources unavailable, like the denial of service, or modify the message between two parties. All right, take the message, modify it, and resend it back to the other side. Or you can capture the data that's sent by someone and try to analyze it, or somehow pretend to be someone. This is called active attack. Now the active attack is opposite to the passive attack, because it is we can detect it, we can see the change. If you detect it, you can see the change, but you can prevent it. It's difficult to detect, somehow quite difficult to detect, because if you don't have the tools or the software to detect it, it's not easy for you to detect this passive attack, because somehow it will harm your hardware or software and network. But you will detect it after the harm probably, so try to be careful. Security X-handed also have other category, like authentication service. We're talking about the service, authentication, access control, data confidentiality, and data integrity and reputation. All right. Okay.